Okay, good morning, y'all. It's Cherie. Welcome to my journey. Um, we getting ready to go and try our camping uh situation in our own backyard, and yeah, but we're coming back because let me tell you something. I have cooked. Whoop, kind of steamy. Yeah, I have cooked this, right? Yeah. I have cooked this corned beef. Uh so I'm coming back home to eat this. For sure. Can you close, please? I've already tasted it. It tastes really, really good. Really, really good. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. Corned beef with some bay leaves and some spices tastes good. Alright? Hold on. We also fortify our water with some beet vitamins. See? Yeah. We fortify our water with some beet supplements. Okay? And this is what that is. I got this at Dee Dee's discount. Yeah, it was a good deal that's the price right there. Yeah, and it tastes good too. I like it a lot. Ooh, you streaming up the camera, Cherie? Didn't want to come across that hot, but it is what it is. Now, we getting outside, so we're going to make sure we get our DEET. Right? Not only does it repel mosquitoes, but it keeps away the ticks. It smells nasty. And, these mosquitoes, they're daredevils, right? They'll get on your face if you don't spray your face. But if you spray your face, don't get it on your lips because it tastes nasty. Yeah. So we're going to take that with us. We're also going to take these last salmon bites. And, because we need something to snack on. Hold on. Let me show you my flowers. See them beautiful irises, purple? We got some marigolds, merry-go-rounds. Yes. And then we got these beautiful flowers right here. These. Oh, they make me feel so good. So good. And as you can see, they've been here for a while. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna try to set this selfie tripod up. You know how I feel about tripods. Great. Anyway, I'm gonna try to set this up so I can film myself, maybe even time myself on how long it would take me to set up this camping situation, right? Because we ain't trying to hurt ourselves out there. Hold on. Okay, so I was trying to think of the best place that I can go to do this backyard in my neighborhood setup, right? 'Cause we don't advise nobody, to go out there and wing it. I mean, it's okay if you wing it and you got backup, right? You got backup, fine, right? Some of us, we independent, okay? So, yeah, when we get too far away from home, we got to do things right. Right? And we don't want to spend all day trying to do it right. That would take the whole fun out of, what we even came there to do in the first place, which was what? It was to get out there and enjoy, the weather, the environment, nature, right? And that's one of the things that I kept saying at first, right? When I was called to the wild, I was like, yeah, I'm called to the wild, but why would I go out there, just to do more work? Right? And then it was like, well, either way it goes, you're going to have to do more work to get out of the house. Squirrel, get out the street. And it was like, yeah, you can either do more work, spend more money, right? And right now, Spirit is telling me that I don't have enough money, to take the type of vacations, that would be enjoyable, right? You could take an enjoyable, in the past, you could take an enjoyable vacation and you wouldn't have to worry about a whole bunch of riffraff, all right? It was fairly safe, and you could, go to Motel 6. But now Motel 6, it is not equal. It is not an equal exchange. You're gonna give your money, and sometimes feel like you would have been better off if you had just slept in a tent, right? Because if you're gonna sleep with the bugs, it might as well be the bugs in the ground. All right? Okay. Bless you. Right? So, yeah. Now, poor DoorDash, right? I've been watching DoorDash, and I'm like, DoorDash, what are you doing? Right? Now, we all watched DoorDash, go to New York recently. We'll say within the last season. Not this season, but last season. Within last season, she had went to New York, right? And we were all looking at her like, what? Right? And she was like, yeah, I could do all of this thing because I'm a hustler, baby. Right? And we're like, yeah. She's like, and by the way, buy my hair products. And then she made the mistake of showing us her hair, her hairline, and we were like, what you talking about, girl? Okay? So, but anyway, the money that she has spent, traveling to New York recently, she could have spent that money on paying her rent and not having to get evicted and pay $500, trying to make up for a rental lease that she can't complete. Now, I don't know, maybe she can. Maybe she can pay off the whole lease, right? But I'm thinking, if you can manifest money like that, how come, damn, there's another blue pitty. Oh my God. And guess what? My pitties knew I was leaving. They knew I was leaving. They knew I was leaving the house. They were like, when I went to go feed him before I left, right? Because I knew I wasn't going to be back near their dinner time, which is an hour, right? And so, they're like, take us with you, right? And I told them, I said, I would take you with me, but y'all are too mature. Y'all don't know how to act. If y'all would just, behave yourself more, I could take you with me more places. And they were like, what? Come on, take us with you. Like, no, I can't. Right? Because one of the things I had thought about is if I go and get one of those leash anchors, right, that I could take them with me. Because believe me, I was thinking about maybe I should get me a cat, a travel cat, right, and leave the dogs at home to protect the castle. Okay? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And yeah. So, and since, I'm not really giving them whole access to the whole house, right, all the time, I'm thinking, well, I could have a cat, right? I could have a cat, a little fur ball, that I could communicate with, that's, yeah, can give me the signals and everything. They may not be able to protect me, but yeah, they can protect me by, giving me a clue when there's danger. Okay? It's been on my mind for a minute now. Oh, yes, it has. So, I was thinking about what that wire was that was hanging down from underneath my vehicle. I'm thinking that's the wire. I'm thinking that's the wire to the back security camera. Right? Now, my dash cam is supposed to be back, front, and interior camera ability. Okay? And I'm just having a hard time letting that sucker stay up here on the windshield, because it keeps falling down. It just keeps falling down. So one of the things that I have brought with me, I brought some tape. I brought a needle and thread, right? If I'm able to set up camp and relax and stuff, I could still, start working on, sewing the edges of my my window coverings that I made, because yeah, they need to be sewed up, right? The easiest thing for me to do is to set up my sewing machine and just sew them up, right? Because yeah, once my sewing machine is set up, it would be real easy to sew all along the edges of my window coverings, right? But I got a needle and thread, and I'm thinking, even if I don't sew it up completely, I can at least tack it in certain places so that I could utilize it until I get off my ass and sew it up properly. Now, some people, they've been able to get away with taping the edges closed. Now, I did think about that, right? And how I think I would do that is probably with duct tape, because that would probably be the strongest and the most durable tape, for the price. Okay? So, yeah. But, you know, I didn't think that it would be a big deal. I didn't know that, the spray glue was really only a temporary, situation. So, I know now because when I was grabbing them to come with me, right, I was thinking to myself, I really don't have to, think about too hard of putting them up with Velcro, right? I was watching Minnie Van Lee today. Shout out to her. And she's deciding that, she's going to be a part-timer. I don't know why she made it seem like she couldn't be a part-timer van lifer, and that, she has to like chain herself up to her granddaughter, yeah, that's I would say borderlining sounding like hoovering, right? Yeah, you want people to grow. You want to get people, you want to help people get on the right path, right? But hoovering is kind of like, when if you had to hoover somebody, it's kind of like, when your children was growing up and how, they was well behaved in your face, but behind your back, they were little demons, okay? A lot of you found that out because you were called up to the school so many times about your kids skipping class. They skip school so much that, a lot of them got preyed upon by predators, and they were like, look, maybe if we find your ass, you're gonna find a way to, keep your kids in school, yeah, because we know that, you can't be, in the school hoovering over them in the classroom, and etc., okay? So then there was this incentive that, they would fine your ass $200, right? And so what had happened is these kids were like, indirectly feeling the repercussions because their parents, didn't have as much, disposable income that they used to have because of the fines and shit, right? Because $200 fine is a lot of money, and that's what they was charging the last time I remember, and that was a decade ago. I don't know what it is today. I don't know if they went up, for inflation. Oh, this is a beautiful, beautiful little river there. Yeah. So that's proof. That is proof that behind your back, these chitlins was not, following instructions because they were used to the hoovering. And when you weren't hoovering, then, they was very secretive. Did a lot of things behind your back, but you had no clue. None. Okay? You thought they was the perfect little angel that you taught them to be when they was in your face and in your space. So, and now that you probably have your whole house a smart house, right? They can't do that stuff in the house, right? They had to go outside or disable the camera, right? And disabling the camera is going to cost more money because eventually you just gonna fix it up. They think if they keep breaking the cameras that you're gonna just, not have, camera surveillance. And you were like, nope, we're just gonna take it out of the budget, right, and replace it. Kind of like what our government is doing to our society. We don't even know, right? This one lady, what's her name? I watch her too. She's a senior living out in the wilderness in Maine, right? And she was talking about all of these cameras that they have going on. But she quoted a foreign country, right? And I'm like, oh, China. She had quoted, oh, China has all of these cameras. Yeah, right? And I'm like, excuse me? You tripping off of China having cameras, right? America has like 85 million cameras. That's known, right? That's known. And then people have their own private, CCTV cameras, whatever, right? And I know, people were into that because, like, I had got like some Ring cameras, right? The Ring doorbell. I had 2 of those because I wanted one in the front and one in the back. Then I also had like a Ring camera security light, right? I had 2 of those, right? One for the front and one for the back, right? Was gonna install them and everything, but hey, I needed money, and so I sold them for cheap, right? And people ran up on me to buy them. So I know at least 3 people who, got, some Ring cameras for their domicile, right? And Ring is a brand that you can just use privately. You can use your private Wi-Fi and everything. You can just use it privately. You don't have to pay. A monitoring company. A lot of these other, security companies, you have to pay a whole monitoring company, to watch your house, to listen to your device, right? And now that we have AI, right, and AI, can be programmed, to listen through your phone, through, your TV. I can't even tell you how many times my phone and my TV be responding to my voice. And even if you have, Alexa or Siri, that's still, AI listening in, girl, listening in. All right. So yeah, I am almost to the site that I thought that I was gonna want to, practice setting up camp. It's not really a park. It's not really anything. I'm hoping. Shit! I ain't gonna be able to get over there. They done closed off the whole road. What? They should have told folks that the road was closed. Look at this. I'm down here trying to get across the lake, and it's the road closed. It's the road closed. Damn it. Who knew? Who knew? I didn't know. So, yeah, there are different ways to get over there, but that's where I wanted to go, was right over there, right on the other side of that bridge. And I still am going to go over there right on the other side of that bridge, because with that road being closed, I think I'll get more privacy, right? And I won't have people like bothering me, because like I said, I ain't trying to camp there overnight. I'm going back home to eat my corned beef. My corned beef. I'm going back home to eat my corned beef. Right? But, you know, I did want to practice setting up and making sure that the things that I have are usable, workable. Like I even brought my my inflatable kayak. Okay? Because I'm like, look, you know, if you're not going to need this kayak, you know, you might as well donate it or try to sell it, you know. Listen, there's no reason why, you know, you should just be holding on to this year after year after year. Now, I did blow it up last year, and it kept the air for a long time, right? But I didn't use it. I did not use it. Because